Back then, my headaches were like my heartbeat. Like you could hear the bouncing and like the beat of it. It just really hurt my head.
We arrived at University of Iowa after a referral from our local physician. Seth was having some issues. He had a concussion during football, and we went through the concussion protocol and we thought we were good. And along the way, he still seemed to have unique problems, lots of headaches, some numbness, tingling, and we couldn't quite figure out what that was. So we went to our local physician and ordered an MRI, and the very next morning they called me to come over and gave us the news. It was devastating. You think what you're going over is for a concussion and maybe it didn't quite heal right, or you're not sure what they're going to tell you, but a Chiari malformation, even though it's not an end-of-a-life issue, it still was interesting to hear that your son's cerebellum tonsils have been hanging out below his skull when he was playing football.
As a parent, once we found out what the diagnosis, it was actually very scary because of the type of surgery that needed to be done. When you start messing with the brain and the skull and the spine, you don't know what could happen.
A Chiari malformation, we learned, was when your skull is developed smaller than what your brain has been developing. So therefore, when it runs out of room, the brain goes to the next path of least resistance, which means down your spinal cord. So Seth's cerebellum tonsils had been herniated so far down his spinal cord, they were getting near his brainstem. So it was a serious matter. We were watching his breathing, his heart rhythm, and those types of things, because it was getting to a point where that could have been getting some pressure and causing more issues. And with that much pressure, there was spots in his spinal cord called syrinx, where I like to think of it as a garden hose. When you kink a garden hose, there are spots that you don't have water there, and they cause a void. And that's similar to what your cerebellum tonsils do to your spinal cord. They get voids, and he had one in his neck and one in his middle back. So was experiencing lots of headaches, lots of pain. Looking back, even his personality changed. I mean, when you're in pain and that much pain every day, it just wears on you and you're tired and you're just a different kid, and now I can see the difference. You take your son's brain in his spinal cord and you put his life in the hands of a surgeon. You have to have the utmost faith in that they know what they're doing. I played the mom role of, everything will be fine, Seth. It'll be great. We'll see you when you're done. And that moment that I turned around and wasn't looking at him anymore, tears like right now kicked in, and this nurse, I'm not even sure she was involved directly in his care, put her hand on my shoulder and said, "It's okay, Mom. We have him. He'll be just fine." And that meant the world to me.
The surgery itself was roughly between 4 and 6 hours, but it was kind of nerve-wracking because there were some potential side effects from that. You could have nerve damage there, so we didn't know what was going to happen.
The surgery was a success. Seth has a few limitations. He can't play football anymore or wrestle, and then there's just some things that we limit as parents, knowing that there's not quite the same support in the back of his noggin that he had before. But other than that, really, Seth has gotten back to life, and he's back to being happy and healthy and enjoying life and laughing again and not feeling like he's in pain all the time and just frustrated with that. So I just want to say thank you for giving him back.
To my doctors, I'd say thank you, give them a nice handshake, say, thank you for your time with helping me, because it was a pretty tough surgery.